Hi, I'm Courtney Michelanis from All Things New Again in Leesburg, Virginia. Today I'm going to teach you two very simple paint techniques that will help you take a brand new piece of wood and make it look all weathered and old. The first technique I'm going to teach you is called a color wash. And color washes look really nice on bare wood that hasn't been painted or stained before. We're going to water down our paint a lot and it'll soak right in almost like a stain. I'm using Dixie Belle No VOC chalk type mineral paint today. It's a new line of paint we're carrying in our shop, All Things New Again. I really like it a lot. But you can do these techniques with any type of paint or any brand of paint. But this is just what I like to use these days. So for the color wash, you take just a tiny scoop of paint. You're not using a whole lot here. And then you're going to squirt just a bunch of water. I don't count it. I don't measure it. I just squirt in some water and then stir it up. So once your paint is mixed with water, you just start painting it on. And you can even add more water to spread it out all the way across the board. The more watery you make it, the more that nice wood grain is going to show through in the end. But if you want it more opaque, then just add more paint. I mean, it's really up to you how you want it to look. The grain on this board is nice, so I'm even going to come and kind of remove even some of the paint and spread what I have left around just to get even more of that nice wood grain coming through. That's all there is to it, to the color wash. But it just adds a really nice, it's a nice skill to have. It adds a nice dimension to your painting, especially when you have a nice piece of wood with nice grain. Just mix paint and water and there you have a color wash. Now the second technique is called dry brushing. And it's kind of the opposite of color washing. In color washing, you add a lot of water. In dry brushing, you want to keep your brush very dry. So dry, I'm not even going to pour paint out. I'm just going to dip it in the lid, and then I'm going to dab it on a paper towel so there's barely any paint on the brush. And you come back to your board. This is one that is already dried. And you just very lightly brush over it, almost like a feather duster. You just have a very light hand here. And as you can see, it'll just barely lay down some white. You don't want it real thick. Let's go all over the board. And come back and get some more paint and do the same thing. It's better to come back and put several layers on than to have it real thick and streaky. So I just do all the way across the board if I can. And as you can see, it's building the white on, just giving it that nice weathered look. Now, I would note, I'm using green here because I'm doing these boards for the top of a little chest of drawers I'm working on, and the green and the white match the rest of the color scheme. If you see I got kind of a lot on there, that's okay. I'm going to go with it, but it's just, it looks different than when I just had a little, so that you can see the difference. I tend to be heavy-handed, so this technique is a challenge for me. My dad is so good at that because he has a very light hand, so his dry brushing always looks gorgeous. If you find, oh, this is too much white, you can always come back with your green and dry brush some green back in to kind of tone it down. So you really can't make a mistake. You just keep working with it and playing with it until it looks right to you. As I was saying before, I'm using green and white. If you really wanted this to look like an old piece of barnwood, I would use like grays, a palette of a darker gray and a lighter gray. And when you use this combination of color washing and dry brushing, it really does look like an old barn that's just been sitting out there forever. This is a little bit different look just because of the colors I chose. But you can see how it certainly doesn't look like a brand new piece of wood anymore either. I just wanted to draw your attention. This is the first board I did. I added the white while the green was still pretty wet. So you can see how it kind of got cloudy and swirly. This board was kind of halfway wet and halfway dry. So I have a kind of a combination of looks. And this board was totally dry and you can see the difference. I like all three looks. I'm going to incorporate all three looks on the final tabletop of my project, and I think in the end it's going to look really cool. These are just two of the techniques that we teach in our Learn How to Paint Furniture class. It's held the first Sunday of every month at All Things New Again in Leesburg, Virginia. So if you're in the Northern Virginia or the DMV area, please look us up. Our website is allthingsnewagain.net. We'd love to see you in one of our classes. We also post step-by-step DIY tutorials on our blog. It's also allthingsnewagain.net. We try to give you all the information you need to go home and paint furniture like a pro. It's easy to do, just takes a little bit of practice, and I'm sure you can do it. So check us out, allthingsnewagain.net. Thank you.